Hey everyone, welcome back to Earth Turtle. Today we are finishing our small detour away from Earth's geological history. Many organisms that we'll talk about in upcoming videos are no longer alive. So today we are talking about extinction and evolution. Before we get started, let's check out last episode. Last episode we talked about fossils. We discussed how fossils formed, we looked at the different types of fossils and fossilization, and we also discussed how important fossils are at providing information about past organisms and environments. So, what is life? Anything alive gathers energy from the environment. This energy is used for growth and/or replication, reproduction, and repair. An essential element for life is carbon. Carbon can combine with itself or other elements to form compounds essential for life. These include the four building blocks of life: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Evolution is a scientific theory in which organisms change genetically over time to adapt to changing environments. Anatomy of organisms can provide insight of similarities and information on shared ancestry. For example, human arms and well flippers are very different. However, they are made of the same bones. They are just different sizes and distributed differently. So, what drives evolution? Three examples we'll talk about are natural selection, competition, and plate tectonics. First, we'll talk about natural selection. Individuals with certain adaptations can have a better chance of surviving than others without those certain adaptations. The surviving individuals then live to reproduce and pass on these adaptations. Here is an example of natural selection. There are two butterflies that are resting on a tree. One butterfly is the exact same color of the bark from that tree. The other butterfly has white stripes. That butterfly is more visible to predators and will more likely be eaten. The butterfly without the stripes has a better chance of surviving and passing on its genes to its offspring. Competition occurs when resources such as food, water, and space are scarce or being shared by multiple species. Competition is found everywhere in nature. For example, among plants, sunlight is a valuable resource. Plants that are able to grow taller and capture more sunlight will be able to outcompete other plants. Lastly, through plate tectonics, land masses can separate and lead to populations of the same species living in different areas and conditions. Over time, these different populations adapt to these new conditions. Coevolution occurs when more than one species evolve together over time to better survive. For example, plants evolved to having flowers which attracted insects. Insects like bees evolved so that pollen can stick and be carried to other flowers to reproduce and make more flowers. This is also seen between flowers and hummingbirds. So let's talk about the difference between speciation and extinction. The fossil record shows that species have appeared and disappeared throughout time. Speciation occurs when a new species evolves from an ancestral species. Extinction occurs when a species is completely wiped out. For example, extinct species include dodo birds, megalodon, and the T-Rex. Over 99% of all species that have ever lived are now extinct. Contributing towards this percentage were mass extinction events. Mass extinction occurs when large percentages of species go extinct. This occurs over large geographic areas and can even be a global event. This also occurs over geologically short periods of time. These mass extinction events occur due to major natural disasters or relatively rapid changes in climatic conditions. Evidence for this include traces of meteorite impacts, heavy volcanic activity, the movement of continents, and warming or cooling events. There has been at least 5 major mass extinction events in the last 540 million years. The first occurred at the end of the Ordovician period, roughly around 443.8 million years ago. The second occurred at the end of the Devonian period, 358.9 million years ago. The third occurred at the end of the Permian period, roughly around 251.9 million years ago. This was the most devastating of the five mass extinction events. The fourth occurred at the end of the Triassic period, 201.3 million years ago, and the fifth occurred at the end of the Cretaceous period, 66 million years ago. This mass extinction event is the most recognized because it included the death of the dinosaurs. And that is pretty much it for today's episode on extinction and evolution. This concludes our small detour away from Earth's geological history. Next episode, we'll pick up where we left off and begin talking about the Phanerozoic Eon. Thanks.